Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is another episode of Ridiculous Loadout, a series where I whore myself out for cheap views, essentially running a suggested loadout from one of the comments, while basically trying not to make too much of an ass of myself in the process. It's actually a good thing, this series, because I get to try some new interesting or ridiculously bad setups along the way that I usually wouldn't have thought of to try on my own, and I might even learn a couple of things along the way here and there. Okay, so this time 96 Spaz suggested I try the Type 88 light machine gun with laser sight, foregrip, and a Cobra sight. Interesting setup this. Actually, not as much interesting as really bad. I mean, the setup is mediocre at best, on a best day. On the worst day, it's just really bad. I mean, the Type 88 LMG, in Battlefield 3 at least, in the stats, it's got nothing good going for it. You see, it's very low damaging, relatively low rate of fire, and surprisingly high vertical kick for such a low rate of fire weapon, and just horrible accuracy, horrible spread. All this boils down to is I think it's just a pain to use, and with everyone else, running super weapons like the AEK, you're not gonna be having as much fun with this setup at all. Okay, so let's go for the technical specs of this weapon platform. Now, the stock Type 88 LMG does a maximum of 25 damage at 8 meters, which drops off to 18.5 at 50 meters. It's also got a 0.36 vertical kick, 0.3 left and 0.3 right horizontal kicks. And its first shot multiplier is 1.5, which is about on par with the rest of the LMGs. But it's got other things, other specs, going against it, and pretty much making it one of the most, if not the most, useless LMG of the bunch. Firstly, the spread. The hip fire spread while, walking, standing, crouching, prone, or whatnot, is right at the top for being the worst among all LMGs. The fire rate of 650 rounds a minute is again one of the lowest, on the lowest end of all LMGs, which by the way will be buffed to 700 in Battlefield 4. And while a buff of 50 RPM might not sound like much, it's actually it's going to come in pretty handy. It's also got a muzzle velocity of 600 meters a second, which seems to be right in the middle of all the other LMGs, and the long reload time of, get this, 7.2 seconds. The longest long reload time among all LMGs, tied for first place only by the M60, which at least has a much better damage model going for it. Now, by the way, the Type 88 LMG does not have a short reload time, because it is a belt-fed weapon, and belt-fed weapons do not have short reloads, because you're basically swapping out the whole ammo belt anyway, so it's all or nothing basically. Also, the standard box for the Type 88 is 100 rounds, which can be increased to 200 rounds with the extended mag, but But thankfully in Battlefield 4, they buffed the standard box to contain 200 rounds from the start. So, you know, you don't have to necessarily take the extended mag with you, you know, freeing up that slot for something else. Now, if we get into the other customization slot for this particular kit, let's see, let's take the foregrip first. The foregrip buffs very slightly the side-to-side recoil to 0.201 left and right, obviously, but it also worsens a whole lot the aiming down sight spread, which makes this gun even more intolerable, as you won't be able to hit the ground in 3 tries. I mean, the hipfire spread of the Type 88 is so horrible to begin with that you will be able, you won't be able to hit anyone firing from the hip anyway, so aiming down sight will be your only option, which again was pretty bad to begin with, but is now completely nerfed with the using of the foregrip. Now, next, if you add the laser sight, what happens? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Nothing good. What the laser sight does is reduce the hipfire spread by a tiny bit. But with it being so bad to begin with, that, you know, you won't be killing anyone in hipfire while hipfiring anyway, so he won't be hipfiring this weapon even with the laser on. So what we're left with is a bad hipfire spread and a nerfed aiming down sight spread. And I'm starting to think that 96 Spaz is laughing it up right now. You know, he seriously came up with pretty much the worst, the worst specializations and customizations for this particular weapon. I mean, the gun is seriously inaccurate, has a bad rate of fire, and now worsens even more by the, foregrip, so not fun, not fun at all. Now, the Cobra sight is one of my favorite sights, and I think it's probably one of the best sights in the game. It's obviously a Russian version of the red dot sight, and it's got these 3 lines on it that, you can feel very comfortable while aiming down sight. That's exactly where the rounds will be going. And actually, the kick of the Type 88 LMG in Battlefield 3, or indeed any gun in Battlefield 3, while aiming down sight, is worsened a little bit in comparison to the laser guns in Battlefield 4. If you remember the AK-12 in the beta, I mean, it was incredible. It just didn't have any kick to it at all. But actually, this isn't entirely the case. You see, it isn't exactly that the stats of the guns in Battlefield 4 are that much different. No. It's just that in Battlefield 3, the sights all have some magnification to them. Even the ones that aren't supposed to have any magnification to them, like the red dot sight. So it feels like you're actually getting more kick from the gun than you really are, because of the slide zoom, So, thanks for watching. Please rate, share this video, and check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.